It's on the arm today, so it's gonna be a little bouncy. Because you know what? I don't think I need to have it plugged in. So I'm gonna unplug this so this can get stable. Ooh. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Salam, shalom, hotep. You know who this is. This is FundiFe. And we're gonna be talking about something horrific. We're going to be talking about trauma. We are going to be talking about how to heal from sexual trauma, how to heal from rape. There's an alert on my page that we have a new molester that has moved into Texas, and I don't mind putting them up on my page. Because, you know, that's one of my platforms. Not in my hood, man. Not in my hood. And if a woman from Ohio is going to tell me what you do, who you are, I'd rather let the whole world know what you do and who you are. Peace and blessings, Lisa. Miss Jasmine is in the house. Ohima, how y'all doing? This is something that you're going to want to share across the board. I'm going to try to be as transparent as possible without traumatizing everybody. First and foremost, I'm at 6. I have to wait till I hit 7. But yeah, we're going to talk about rape. We're going to talk about rape, and we're going to put some names to some of the things that you guys have felt and are feeling and maybe have never got off your chest. We're going to do some healing today. We're going to do some hard healing today. And this is not just for women, it's for men too. Because we act like our brothers aren't sexually molested. 7, here we go. First things first. You are not alone. You are not alone. We live in a country where sex magic is real. Sex magic is real, period. And we live in a country that was built on the rape, molestation, and use of humans for the betterment of a few. That's just what it is. America was built on this. Children being violated, women being violated, and men being violated regularly. Shalom. Systematically. And that's just the history of this country. That's just the history of this country. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this, but this is the best way that I can think to approach this. First of all, one must forgive yourself. As the one who was violated, you have to forgive yourself. Especially if it was done at an early age. You cannot hold yourself responsible for what happened to you when you could not protect yourself. So for those of you who had your trauma as a child, as an adult, we must learn to forgive ourselves for our weakness. That's first. And that's a
powerful forgiveness. It is one that I had to give myself. I was 10. And I beat myself up for years. I beat myself up for years. Because I thought I was weak. I was. I was a child. And children are supposed to be protected. Because they are the weakest. Children and old people, man. Children and old people. And we leave our children so unsupervised. I never left my children unsupervised. That's one mistake I did not make. Even though I had boys, I understood that a boy's trauma was just as heinous as a girl's trauma. Now, my boys did not go out and sleep over somebody else's house. No. Because I understood trauma. Because it happened to me. So I held a secure space for my children. I kept the lines of communication open for my children. That we've had conversations where it's called a no conversation. And I have to be warned, that's one of the rules. As a parent, I have to be warned that we are about to have a no conversation. And what a no conversation is a conversation where I can't tell them no. And what that means is I can't correct the way that they are expressing themselves. It's called a no conversation. I can't interrupt the way that they are expressing themselves. And I came up with this because when I was telling about my rape, when I was recovering from my rape, I noticed that nobody would let me talk. I was always getting cut off or told what I was feeling or told what was happening to me. You can't tell a rape victim what happened to them. And it must be expressed. And it will have to be expressed more than once. Because a trauma loops itself. A trauma will loop itself. As a rape victim, I found out that I would wake up at certain times in the night. And no explanation as to why. Until it dawned on me that I was waking up at the time of my rape. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Jut up out of dead sleep. And it has happened all my life. That is something that I've never been able to get out of my psyche. Except that I don't wake up traumatized anymore. I've learned not to get up traumatized. I've learned that it's a time loop. It's a time loop that my body has been used to looping in. And instead of trying to break the loop like a lot of people do, I've learned to live with the loop, and not just live with it, but when I'm up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning when it takes place, that's when I get my meditation in. That's when I get my reading in. So my body has learned to associate that time not with trauma, but with knowledge and acceptance. It is a time for me to accept myself. It's almost like instead of our body understands that it was raped and it's up and it's expecting this horrible thing to happen. And instead of this horrible thing happening, I've trained it to where only the good things that it likes happens. You know, it is time for quiet meditation. You know, it's reprogramming that time loop. And a lot of us don't know how to do it, and that's why I'm here, to give you a couple tools that you can use, because shit, we don't go to therapy. We don't go to therapy, and we don't know what to do, and we're not trying to ask because nobody's telling, because it's our great big It's our great big So let me just put this out there so you don't have to individually feel like you can't speak to anybody. My number is readily available. And know this: you will never be the same. That child will never be the same. Trauma of this nature systematically splinters the psyche. Let me say that again, because maybe y'all didn't understand me right quick. Let me turn this down. Psychiatrists, psychology proves and says that trauma of this type splinters the psyche. So your head's not right. There's wiring that has taken place that's not what we consider social norm. To break this, you have to understand. It takes understanding on everybody's part. Everybody's part. That child will never be the same. You will never be the same. And let me put a face on something else that happens to rape victims that a lot of people don't explain, or they question, or you questioned, or you felt bad about. Let's talk about tectonic paralysis. When the human body is traumatized enough, it will go into a state of paralysis. And what I mean by a state of paralysis is, for those of us that have had the experience, it is that time that it would appear that you gave up. You laid there and you accepted it. You went limp. In some cases, some people say they separated from themselves and they watched it from the other side of the room or from the ceiling. There was this disconnection that takes place. That's called tectonic paralysis. And it simply is that your brain is being flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. And there's so much of it that it is flooding your body and you freeze. Especially if you have had no martial training. If you have had absolutely no martial training, your body does not know how to handle this spike of cortisol and adrenaline. So it shuts everything down. You can't fight through it. You can't fight through it. You can't fight through it. It's like putting too much electricity. It's like putting 1,000 watts through a 50-watt bulb. It's gonna blow. And blowing for the human is called tetanic paralysis. Just lay there. You just lay there. That is not, I need you to know that's not you. That was not you. That was your body reacting to a stimulus that was taking place that you had no way of processing, especially if you were a child. Let me take that burden off you right quick. Let me help you heal yourself, because that was not your fault. That did not happen because you were scared. It did not happen because you couldn't fight back. It happened because your body betrayed you. That's it. That's it. That's it. Forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for not being able to fight back, because you couldn't. You couldn't. And it's okay. That's how much trauma you were in. Rape is like being on the front line of a battlefield, man. You feel the exact same way. You a soldier. And you have been a soldier since the age of your trauma. And for those of you who are dealing with children who have been molested or raped, know that that child will never be the same. No, you will never be the same. You will never be wired the same. And for those of you who take advantage of these children, you are sick. You're sick. And in some cases, I don't even judge you, because children do what was done to them. Listen to me. Listen to me. Children do what was done to them. So in some cases, you have to have about this much pity on a rapist, because that motherfucker was set up to. There's a reason. There's a reason they send our men to prison for long periods of time. It is a breaking point. But back to this. No, please share this. Luis, please share this. I said that from the beginning. Please share this. Now, you've had nobody to talk to for years on end after your rape. You've beat yourself up. You've turned introvert. You've turned extrovert. You turned tricks on your head. But you're laying in bed one night and your lover does or says something, and it triggers you off again. Here is where, brothers and sisters, we really, 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 and I mean of the world, I don't mean just black. Because again, this is systematic. Please do not think this is not happening in the Asian community. Please do not think that this is not happening in the white community, the Latino community, the Indian community, and that's dot and feather. This is American, this is world culture at this point. The systematic raping of the people of the planet. Now, after you've forgiven yourself for your tectonic paralysis, you've forgiven yourself for being in that position, now you gotta tell. You will be judged. And you will be judged harder than the rapist. Here is where you will have to find inside of yourself that mustard seed of strength. You will have to tell that child that is hurt inside of you that they can now have a no conversation with whomever. That trauma has to come out of your body. If that trauma does not come out of your body in words, it will come out of your body in dis-ease. Why are black women's hearts failing them left and right? Trauma. Why are their wombs failing them left and right? Trauma. Where do you think you house all this trauma? We don't even realize how much trauma we store in our organs, wondering why our organs are failing us. Because instead of doing the job that the organ is supposed to do, is storing stress, like your liver and your kidneys, your pancreas. While your hair is falling out. You want to know where your trauma is? Look at what's changing on your body. You want to know where you holding your trauma? If you hold your trauma in your head, your hair will go gray quickly. If you're holding trauma in your womb, problems having children. Fibromyalgia. Fibroids. Womb collapse. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that your womb can collapse. Ovarian problems. It's so hard because you don't understand how bad it hurts. They don't understand how hard it is. How hard it is to even be comfortable around people. I was sexually assaulted a year ago, and my mind and body has not been
not been the same. I always feel like I'm under attack, but I'm trying to find peace in myself. I told you you'd never be the same. And here's something that we as a people have to understand about sexual trauma. And brothers, I need y'all to understand this more than even the sisters, because the sisters understand, because we live it constantly. But brother, think about this for a minute. A sister has been sexually molested for up to 2 to 3 years in her home as a child. Now that's trauma at home with Uncle Ray Ray, Cousin Billy, Uncle Jimmy, Grandpa Harry, whoever. And you wonder why we leave the house and can't smile. Does this put a little bit of light on why black women have such a hard time, not just smiling, but accepting your hello, accepting your hey beautiful? We are so traumatized that we see that, hey sister, how you doing, as I'ma break them draws. But look at her association. Black women hardly know what love is. We haven't been shown love. By who? A mom that didn't know what love was? A dad that wasn't there? An auntie that was raped as well? A brother that was raped? When and where do black folks say, hey, here's where I was genuinely loved in my life? Where? Because in most cases as adults, we're dealing with so much of our own shit that we traumatize our kids while dealing with our own shit. Well, Fee, what are you talking about? Y'all fighting in front of the kids. Because that, pedophiles groom children like that. You know that, right? Right. Because to know love, you have to know yourself. And how many of us really know ourselves? Because we're still beating ourselves up for being us. So we haven't even shown true love to ourselves. We expect to find true love in a country that shoots us on the street without giving us due process. We expect to find love there. We expect to find love as ex-slaves in a country that can still put us into slavery. We're finding love there. Where? When were we taught that? Better yet, when were you taught that? Fuck that. This we shit. When were you taught it? Because I know what true love is. I've been shown true love. Because true love comes with understanding. You can't love a thing and not listen to it. For all you parents that act like you don't want to listen to your children, your girl children and your boy children, when they tell you that they are being fucking violated, and then you turn around and say you love them. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. Love is understanding. I don't know how many times I have to tell married motherfucking couples, and I have to tell parents, love is understanding. Love is shutting your motherfucking pie hole for a minute and listening. That's love. Love isn't ding, ding. That's not love. Love isn't ranting. Love isn't telling a child how you feel about it. Love is having a no-no conversation.
Love is listening to a human being express themselves without you jumping in it with your 2 fucking cents. That's love. And how many of us listen to our children like that? How many of us have a place for our children to express themselves in a you can't say no to this child thing because you on a fucking power trip? You traumatizing that child too. You are further damaging that damaged child, because in not letting that child talk it out and be honest about what happened, you have now told that child their feelings don't count, they don't count, and you are on your way to making a professional victim. I mean, can you do it with your woman? Can you have a no-no conversation with your woman, brother? I mean, sister, can you have a no-no conversation with your man without interjecting your bullshit? Because love is understanding. Most men can't listen to their women outside of the emotion. Can't have a conversation with your man because he don't like the way you expressing yourself. He wants you to express yourself like a man. That's a woman. Women use a lot of words to express themselves. So, brother, you gonna have to strap it in and shut up for a minute and actually listen to her words. Because love is understanding. And when you're trying to understand something, you listen. You listen not passively, you listen intently. You know, like you love her. Sister. Because we're the ones that use so many words, because men don't use a lot of words. And as a matter of fact, the more emotional a man is, the less he talks. So, in knowing that, while you're having a no-no conversation with your man, you're probably gonna have big, long-ass pauses that you're gonna have to fucking suffer through and not say a damn thing. It's not for you to feel a fucking silence. As a matter of fact, feel the silence, because he talks in silence. Men talk in silence. So you're going to have to learn to hear his silence, to understand his silence, because there's a lot to be learned there. Because we be running off at the fucking mouth. And when he speaks, shut up. Damn, that's one thing in a goddamn conference with a male and a female that drives me insane. I'm talking to the brother. Yes, it might take him 10 to 15 minutes to answer the damn question. But that's because you done over-talked his ass so goddamn much that the brother didn't figure, fuck it, I ain't saying shit. She gonna say it. I have to shut women up. Like, can you just please be quiet and let him talk? Just drink some water, chew some bubble gum or something. Just shut up. Let the man speak. They have fewer words. They're going to use fewer words. So he has to think about what the hell he's going to say. Men don't spew out 3,000 words a damn day. Women do. So women, be mindful. Let that man fucking talk. My grandfather's generation, women would sit around forever waiting for him to talk. Just shut up. You don't have to feel the silence. The silence is a beat too. The silence should be understood, because love is understanding. And in order to heal from a rape, you gotta talk. You gotta talk it out. You gotta talk it out. You gotta talk it out. Just like it went in, it has to come out. This is what I don't understand. When you guys start practicing magic, you open portals and you go into them, but you don't come back out of them or close them. It's crazy to me. If you open the fucking door, close that bitch. It's the same principle. Stuff that goes in has got to come out. Eat and don't defecate. Watch what happens. Drink and don't urinate. Wait and see what happens. You will toxify your own body. So does that the ability to urinate and excrete should tell you something about how things go into the body must eventually come the fuck out, or putrefies. For those of you that don't know what the word putrefy means, it becomes toxic. It becomes poisonous. Putrid. It must come out. The fucking orgasm and then done. Not realizing just how hollow and how you just reinforced your own trauma. You just reinforced your own trauma by subjecting yourself to sex you did not want. You just raped yourself. Ooh. Hey, y'all. They finally brought me back. I was playing with Fang. It's one of my new toys. Yeah. Hey, y'all. I guess they want me back, huh? See, don't nobody want you healed. Nobody wants you healed. When we're healed as a people, all this shit is over. But know that, again, this is systematic. This is crazy and it's systematic. And here is where we have to have baby gloves with each other. Because we have to understand that we are a traumatically fucked up people. All of us have not healed. All of us are not in the process of healing. And that's male and female both. So we got to put on baby gloves with each other, man. We have to understand our own trauma. We suffer from every PTSD there is, and we have suffered it generations. Most men don't want to hear about our past. The only thing they want to hear is moans and sex talk and how good their sex is to us. If he can make money like he's having sex, then we can have a conversation. But you, again, sis, you have to understand our brothers are traumatized. For them, for our brothers, sex has been dropped down to basically jumping jacks. A lot of brothers don't have intimacy in sex anymore, and this too comes from their sexual trauma. Our brothers were associated with sex, porn. Porn is most people's first damn introduction to sex. Or rape. Or molestation. You have to remember, we don't get into sex properly. We're not properly trained to have sex. Like we're not properly trained to breathe. People just think, ooh, I came out breathing. That don't mean you doing it right. Who taught you how to walk? Because I can guarantee you 95% of you walk wrong. You walk so wrong that you probably injure yourself in your 40s from the way that you walked for 20 years. Most of you don't know how to breathe correctly. I came out, I took my first breath. That's good enough. You know there are like 32 different ways to breathe? No, of course. Because the one gift God gave you is the one gift you never study. He gave you your breath. But do we study that? Yeah. Just enough to talk and not die. Other than that, most people have done no formal training on how to breathe. And that would save a lot of us. Control your breathing, you learn to control your emotions. Because breathing triggers emotion. And for those of you that have been studying your emotions over at UUniversity, you know I did a thing on that. I did a whole show on that. How breathing and emotion is connected. Rape. And it's not your fault if people didn't listen. You keep talking till somebody listens. I know people that were raped by family members. And one particular family member decided to go ahead and tell. And everybody was like, no, that didn't happen. I'm like, yo, man, it wasn't last year that your ass told me that you were raped by the same one. And you gonna stand here and you gonna say, no, that didn't happen. But Granddaddy Johnson, they never did nothing to me. I don't know why that baby telling now. It's over and done with. Well, you just sit your molested ass down somewhere because you're an enabler. And I need y'all to understand that too about being a rape victim, especially if you're going to be a rape whistleblower. I need you to understand the backlash of being a whistleblower. You'll be demonized. Not the person who did it. Because the person who did it has enablers and protectors. That's why they've been able to do it for so long. I have seen girls slap. Sister that I shared her post. She said when she told her grandmother or aunt or whatever, she told that the day her rapist beat her face in, she told her aunt slapped the shit out of her. The same face that the rapist beat in. Think about that for a minute. And hey, here's the other thing. If you were one of the ones told to just get over it, or if you're one of the jackasses that likes to tell people, just get over it, how do you just get over something that changes you at the very core of your being? And here is where living on a plantation, a big ass working plantation, I have to say, you've got to be a real screwy motherfucker to tell somebody that the one thing that is theirs to give and take at their will being stolen from them is something that they just have to get over. That sounds like somebody that'll come in your house, take your shit out of it, with you in it, get ready to pull out of your driveway. You wake up and go, where my shit? And they go, just get over it, and pull out the driveway with your shit. That's America. America protects her thieves, her rapists. The laws, fuck. They say innocent until proven guilty. But they never tell you that we're going to put the victim on trial. We're not going to put the defendant on trial, we're going to put the victim on trial, because that's what America does. So the next time a child or a young woman or a young man comes to you and they're telling you about sexual trauma, what I need you to do is put your judgmental motherfucking ass to the side and do what we call a little love. Please try to understand. Because there's somebody that has realized that they will never be the same. And we learn to deal with it. This is not something we ever get over. It is something you learn to deal with. It's like not having an arm. You still have to live. You just learn to deal with not having the arm. You learn to deal with not having your dignity. You learn to deal with having this anger. Because rape builds a demon inside you that rages. And if left unchecked, it will ravish your whole body. It will kill you. It will hurt every relationship. It will hurt your career. And brothers, read the text. Read what sisters are saying. Read it. What brothers are saying. Read it. I'm not here alone. Not here alone. But this is something in our community that needs to be healed. You wonder why black women, why we don't smile, brother. Did you ever think that this is what's happening in our homes? You have sisters that have moved brothers into their houses that are traumatizing. He beating the hell out of his woman and he's raping the girls and the boy. You have to remember, man, some homes are prison camps. They're not homes. They're traps. Watch after school how many kids just try to hang around or hang out and don't want to go home. You looking at somebody that's going to a war zone. And probably not of their own making. You must heal yourself. No, you won't get over it. You will think about your rape every day of your life. It will come up every day of your life. You won't just get over it. So if you're trying to do that, you're failing. But what you will have to learn to do is deal with it. It happened. It made you who you are. It is your challenge. It is your burden. This is what happens between living and dying. Doesn't mean it has to. And we have to change this culture. We have to change this culture, because it is a culture where the rapist doesn't feel so fucking protected. Where these violators don't have all these damn enablers around them. And what I do need y'all to realize is people are groomed to be enablers. People are groomed to be victims. Rapists don't just happen. They too are groomed. You got to break the grooming. You got to break the grooming, and we can't keep forgetting. We can't keep forgetting. We can't keep allowing ourselves to forget. Forgotten history will be repeated. And for all of you who love to talk about how witchy-poo you are, you do know that memory is a part of witchcraft. Memory is a huge part of witchcraft. It's a part of witchcraft that they keep away from us because they want you to have a fucked up memory. A sharp memory is needed for witchcraft. You can't forget your experience if you witchy. How else do you call up the Furies? How else do you call up love? If you're constantly fucking forgetting. I blocked it out. That's convenient. Because you do realize in blocking it out, you didn't block it out. You walled it up somewhere in your body. We don't forget. The body is not designed to forget. Every cell in your body has a memory. All of the water in your body has a memory. So what did you forget? Or are you just masturbating on the idea that, white people told me I could forget, so yeah, I forgot. You don't forget. The body is not designed to forget nothing. In martial arts, we always talk about muscle memory, body memory, movement memory, kinetic memory. Have you lost your... Yeah, you lost your mind. Maybe that's the problem with us right now. Too much fucking forgetting. You should forgive and forget. Who the fuck said that? You don't forgive and forget. You forgive and remember. So when and if and that shit. Yes, I said when and if and. I did. I said it. When and if and that happens again, there is no forgiveness. Only people that want to have a slave will tell you to forgive over and over and over and over and over again. White folk ain't never forgave us for being black. Being born black. Being born black in their taken land. I said it, being born black in they taken land. I said it. They never forgive us. As a matter of fact, they remind us every time the police show up how much we matter. We don't even get fucking due process anymore. Straight from detention to execution. Where the fuck was the due process? And guess what? We so silly we don't even demand it. Again, Fee, what does this have to do with rape? Because you do the same thing to your fucking rapists. It's a behavior that goes across the board. Phoebe all over the place. No, I don't. One streamlined thought. I'm just showing you how that streamlined thought goes into your life all over that motherfucker. I'm going to forget. You going to forget till that next generation show up and tug at you and be like, Auntie so-and-so, Uncle who-woo-woo did this to me. You going to forget then? Because every time we forget, there's a generation behind us that it will happen to. Every time we forget. Every time we allow another one of our predators to stay in the hen house. Wonder why our girls are fucked up. Wonder why boys don't care. Because you have parents and aunties and uncles who are enablers, and it's easier to pick victims that live with you than it is to go out and hunt victims on the street. Because a lot of you were groomed right in your own house for it. And a lot of y'all are grooming victims now. I did a whole video on forgiving. The fuck we gotta forgive? Who do we what are we forgiving? What did we do to forgive? Ain't nothing to forgive. I'm not forgiving shit. I'm not forgiving a damn thing. Because every time you forgive, you suspend the laws of karma. I did a whole lesson on this. It was less than 15 minutes. I don't forgive shit. Except myself. For things that were beyond my control. Like my rape. You can't expect a 10-year-old girl to ward off a grown-ass man. Unless you have trained her. And how many of us are training our children to be warriors? How many of us are training our children? You won't even tell your child about sex, even though the predator is looking at your child at 2. You won't even tell your child about sex. You will not educate your child to protect itself in a war zone. My children were playing with knives when they were 3. I bought switchblades for everybody. Let's learn. Cutting up shit. My children knew how to handle a knife because there were knives all over the house. No, I'm not putting them away. No, they will learn to respect it. They will learn what it does. And that will teach them how not to play with it. Although we be running around, your child ain't picked up a knife until they 12. And then you still standing around. Don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself. What? And wonder why our children are behind the curve. Won't take your children to the shooting range. Hell, most of y'all won't let your children talk. Shut! Woo. Won't talk to your kids and wonder why they won't talk to you. We don't explain the basic shit in life to our children, basically. So nobody can come in and train them or groom them, because grooming is about training, on sex. Because you were derelict in your parental duty because you didn't think your 6-year-old was ready for that. But the pedophile knows that your 6-year-old is all ready for it. As a matter of fact, your 6-year-old just walking past them and saying, "Hey, uncle, whatever." Oh, she's making a pass at me. You know they do look at that like that, right? She's coming on to me. She went to sleep on the couch in her little dress. I'm going to get out of here. If there's another subject that you want me to talk about as far as rape is concerned and healing, I'll be over at UUniversity and I'll probably come out of there with it. So if you are a member of UUniversity, you'll probably get the notification. If you're not, please go. Like I was saying, if you haven't joined UUniversity, get on over there. Wow. Get on over there. I stayed on here just so I could do my ending, because they can't take my ending from me. You know who this is? This is FundiFe. And I always got my ear to the street, my ear to the street, my ear to the street. Go on over and join UUniversity if you haven't already. It's the only place in the world where you only learn about you. Peace and blessings. And for all of you who are a part of UUniversity, I want you to add one person to UUniversity today. One person to UUniversity. One. Love y'all. That's your assignment. Peace and blessings. Salam, shalom, hotep. And you know what? Just add water. Go get you some water. Love y'all. Peace and blessings. Now it won't end. Ain't this a